What would you do if you knew for a fact that tomorrow was SHTF and that you had 24 hours to get ready for it? Do you have a checklist put together of things that you'd want to make sure were good to go before the event was to blow up? Or are you not really sure exactly how you would react to having that information? Well, I figured I'd share with you the 30 things that I would do if I knew for a fact that SHTF was tomorrow. Hey everybody, it's Magic Prepper, and today we're talking about 30 things I would do if I knew for a fact SHTF was tomorrow. These are things that all of you could easily do within a 24-hour time span, and if you had that information, you would probably want to make sure a lot of these things got done. SHTF is something that we prepare for, but if you had the information telling you that tomorrow was the big day and you had 24 hours to get ready for it, what would you do? What things would you put into place to make sure you were as ready as possible for that event? And when you think about all the items we're going to talk about here on this list, are these things that we should already be doing anyway, just in case it is tomorrow? These are things for you to consider. And if you're worried about preparing for SHTF style events and you want to be ready for them no matter what day they happen, then hit the subscribe button below, because hopefully these lists and this conversation gives you some ideas about what you could do to be better prepared for yourself. Now, one thing I will say is that this list is in no particular order, because basically I threw it together while I was cleaning guns the other day, and I thought, you know what, here I am cleaning guns, making sure maintenance is up to par and that everything's ready to go in case I ever need anything. And I thought, you know, this is definitely one of the things I would probably do if SHTF was like tomorrow. And then I got to thinking about how many other things I would definitely need to be getting done if that was the case. So this list, it's not in order, but it is in the description as well as in the pinned comments, so you guys can check it out for yourselves to get some other information there. And I'll have a link to it on my website as well, just so you can go there and check it out as just a reference in case you want to build out your own list, because this is good information to have and be ready for. And if you have things to add to this list, make sure you do in the comments below, because I think it's going to be helpful for the community to see everybody's ideas about what they would try to get done, okay? So, first thing I would do, probably the most important thing to survival, is water, right? So I fill water buckets, fill my bathtubs, and just make sure I had as much water on hand as possible, and any containers that were worth storing water in were full of water and ready to go. So that's number one. Number two, I'm gonna do the same thing but with gasoline and fuel, and make sure all my fuel is topped off in my vehicles. Any fuel containers I have for storage are topped off as well, and I have as much fuel as I can have on hand ready to go, knowing that the next day means I probably won't be able to get any more for a very long time. All right, so number three, I'm gonna charge all of my electronics, all of them. I'm talking about my solar power stations, I'm talking about my cell phones, my computers, just everything that uses a rechargeable battery is gonna be fully charged and ready to rock. So that way if power goes out or an EMP shuts down the larger electronics or the grid goes down or anything like that, at least everything on the smaller scale is fully charged and ready for action if it's necessary and needed. So definitely something I would put high on the list. The fourth thing I'm gonna do is fill all my tires with air. Yeah, I got an air compressor, I'm gonna bust it out, make sure all the tire pressures are where they're supposed to be at, and that everything's ready to go in case we suddenly have to dip out. I don't wanna have to worry about vehicle maintenance in regards to air pressure or anything like that during an emergency. So definitely high on the list. Number five is going to be wash all my clothes. You wanna start SHTF with a clean slate and have as much to your liking as possible when it comes to having clean clothes and what to choose from. So you don't want to have to deal with laundry after the fact. So having everything fully caught up, fully washed, and fully ready to go so that you don't have to worry about it for a long period of time is definitely going to be important. And in the same vein, number six on the list is going to be washing all my dishes and pots and pans and anything related to the kitchen. I don't want to have dirty dishes and a full sink of dishes or anything like that in case this whole thing was to pop off. And knowing that it's tomorrow, having that 24-hour notice, you better believe that every single plate and every single utensil and pot and pan in my entire home is going to be spick and span before that happens, because I'm not trying to deal with that after the fact, and I'm sure you're not either, okay? Same idea here. Number seven is going to be clean all the toilets and basically your whole house. But let's be honest, your bathrooms need to be clean as possible, because Once they're not, it's gonna be hard to maintain, and once SHTF goes off, bathrooms are gonna get very gross very fast. So let's start as clean as we possibly can. So I'm gonna clean all my toilets, clean my bathrooms, and then I'm gonna clean my whole house basically as well. So this can go together all as number 7, but I want my house to be clean, vacuumed, I want everything to be dusted and just clean and ready to rock. And you're gonna say, are you sure you're gonna have enough time for this? Look, 24 hours is actually a lot longer than most people think, because I'm probably not gonna sleep during this whole situation, because I want everything to be as ready as possible, and it's just gonna be what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely clean as much as I possibly can. Definitely a good place to start, all right? Number 8, even though this is already generally the case, at least at my house, but something I figured I'd throw on here anyways, make sure all my mags are loaded up and ready to roll. Empty magazines aren't very useful in an emergency. So every mag I own is gonna be loaded up, ready to rock. And yeah, I do have a couple magazines that aren't loaded for no reason other than use for dry fire exercises and using snap caps and the like. So those magazines are probably loaded up as well. So that's why I threw this on the list. Generally, all my magazines are loaded, or else I get sad, which you all know. Now, in the same vein, which is what kind of started this conversation for me and why I made this video, is I'm gonna clean and lubricate all my firearms and have everything ready to rock. All the barrels are gonna be looking good and the bores are gonna be nice and clean. Everything's gonna be properly lubricated and basically as tip-top as it can be to be ready to rock for a long period of time without any maintenance at all if that's what ends up happening. So definitely something I would do that day, and generally something I keep up on regularly for a lot of reasons. A, I want reliability, which maintenance definitely adds to, but B, because if SHTF was to happen, I don't really want to spend 3 or 4 hours cleaning all my guns, which is actually very fast if you talk about cleaning every single gun that you have that might be dirty. Depending on your situation, maybe just pick a few guns that you know you're going to get to if things go south and clean those specifically, because maybe you don't have time to clean like 40 guns, let's be honest, all right? So moving on from there. Now this is just relative to my current situation, and I understand it, trust me. So number 10 is gonna be, I'm gonna cut all my hair off. I'm just gonna cut it off. I'm gonna take a buzzer and I'm gonna buzz it right off. You know why? Because I don't wanna deal with it post SHTF. And right now, should I just buzz it anyway? Probably, but at the same time, this wizard hair is actually what gets people to recognize who I am when I'm out, so I get to meet more people and network better. And almost every single person I've met in public has said, I only recognized you because of your hair. So I feel obligated to maintain it. And I'm gonna take a book out of Samson's story and say, you know what, a lot of strength comes from this hair. So until that time, I'm gonna be rocking it, but SHTF's the next day, yeah, I'm gonna shave my head. It's just what it is, okay? And number 11, same idea, I'm probably gonna shave my beard too. You know what? A, I can use a gas mask much more efficiently, and B, I can just start fresh, and then if the beard grows back, I mean, the beard just grows back, so whatever. But let's just start fresh as we can and make it easy on ourselves. Number 12 is I'm gonna repack all my bug out bags and all my get home bags. And when I say repack, it's basically a quick inventory, checking that everything's, you know, within date and that nothing's expired and that everything is up to par with what I need in that moment, in that season, and that I don't have any missing holes or anything like that. So I'm gonna unpack them, repack them, make sure they're good to go, make sure I can run out the door with them if need be, okay? So number 13 is gonna be communications with my family and with my mutual assistance group and with anybody who is important enough for me to communicate in that time. Look, comms are huge, and if I know that SHTF is going to be the next day, I'm going to be calling my family, people who are important to me, people who I'm going to rely on during a stressful situation so that everyone has a proper heads up. But I don't want to create a panic either. So you don't want to go ahead and call maybe everyone, but it just depends on the situation. You have to be very judicious about how you interact with everybody regarding the fact that you know SHTF is going to be tomorrow. Most people won't believe you anyway, so it is what it is, okay? Now, in the same way, so number 14, if you're in my position, right, and you have like, I don't know, a YouTube channel that you talk to a lot of people in the preparedness community with, then you might want to let everybody know as best you can without creating some kind of red flag situation. But all I'm trying to say is that, look, if I knew for a fact SHTF was tomorrow, I would tell you all because first off, most of you won't believe me anyway, and second off, the ones who do, I'll be glad that I was able to help give you a little bit more of a heads up. So at least if you're me, and probably if you're a good person and you want to share this information on social media just so everybody around you has a chance to be better prepared, then I say go for it. But that's just something I wanted to add on here. Number 15 is that I'm going to fortify my home. Now, I'm not going to do anything crazy, okay? But if I know SHTF's tomorrow, I might make sure that I have some things in place to be able to either board up windows or just ensure that any entry points are more secure than they usually are and just have a better concept of security around the home based on the fact that I know that's going on tomorrow. So these are things for you to consider consider as well. Number 16 is going to be, I'm gonna wear or lay out all of my security loadouts, okay? So when it comes to things like plate carriers and belts, and when it comes to the outfit of choice, right? Because this is something you should definitely already have in mind. What are you gonna wear if you know SHTF is tomorrow? You should pretty much have an outfit kind of picked out based on the season as to what would be your go-to outfit, so that way you can then layer on your loadout of your plate carrier or your belt, or even if you just wanna wear a leather belt with a leather holster and whatever else you have going on, great, but just know what that's going to be and then have it either laid out or be already wearing it, so that way you're in your go-to loadout situation for that time. So these are things you want to consider, all right? Number 17. I'm gonna test a lot of the gear and equipment, aka I'm gonna turn on my red dots, turn on my flashlights, turn on my generators. I'm gonna check all the things that could technically fail if they haven't been tested for a while, and just make sure everything's kind of up to par, okay? So those are things you wanna consider. Maybe even just turn on your vehicles, right? What if you get a bad starter all of a sudden and the next day is SHTF? These are big things we want to test out, okay? Moving on from there, number 18 is going to be change out batteries. So in the same vein, I'm going to take all of my, electro-optics and everything else related to batteries, aka flashlights, maybe your plasma lighters, whatever else you might have that takes batteries. I'm going to swap them out and make sure everything's fresh, ready to rock, okay? Moving on from there, feed and bathe the animals, okay? Now, maybe not livestock, but your dogs, your cats, whatever. Just give them a bath, feed them good, make sure they're good to go. Get them that fresh slate too, because you don't want a stinky dog running around your house during SHTF if you don't have to. Could have given it a bath that day before, and things are a lot more pleasant now moving forward. Up to you, do your thing. Moving on from there, number 20 is a grocery supply run, the final supply run, right? So run to the grocery store, run to your big box store, do whatever, as long as there's no panic going on, because maybe you're the only one who knows it's tomorrow, whatever, great. If there's panic, I wouldn't do this. But if you have a chance to, and there's not a inherent risk of doing it because maybe not everybody's awake to the situation yet, then yeah, that final run could make the difference of a lot of time bought when it comes to having additional food, supplies, whatever it might be. So definitely get out there, and I'll let you figure out exactly what that supply run should look like and what places you should be going to based on your situation. Number 21, I'm gonna take a hot shower or a bath. Either way, I'm gonna get nice and clean and be ready for that the next day, okay? I don't wanna be dirty starting this whole thing off. Nice and comfortable, a nice hot shower. You never know when you'll have that next hot shower again. So make sure you take a nice hot shower. Just enjoy it. These are things I'm gonna do. I'm just telling you what I'm gonna do. Maybe you'll do them too. All right, number 22. I'm gonna liquefy any financial assets I have, aka anything that's in the digital realm, right? I guess maybe stocks or crypto or anything like that. And look, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take any of this as financial advice. But what I'm trying to say is, me personally, if I know SHTF's tomorrow, aka long-term SHTF, everything goes to crap, yeah, I'm probably gonna liquefy most of my assets and try to turn them into physical assets as quickly as possible. Now, I've done a lot of that already, to be quite honest with you, but I'm just saying, that's one of the things I'd probably try to do. And I'd probably try to do the same thing when it comes to cash too, because cash is gonna be worthless at some point during SHTF. So I'm gonna take all the cash I have and go get those supplies on that final grocery run. But anyway, moving on from there, 23 is the number we're at now, and I'm gonna place alternate lights. You want alternate lighting around your home. Lanterns, candles, LEDs, whatever it is you have. Be careful with candles, they burn a lot of houses down. But all I'm saying is that if the power goes out, grid goes down, make sure you have lighting in place so you don't have to scramble to figure out how you're gonna light each room or what you're gonna do in regards to making sure the lighting isn't gonna give away your position. So this might also go back to fortifying your home, but you might wanna cover up certain windows based on the fact you don't wanna advertise that you're in the home or whatever it is, okay? Number 24, I'm gonna top off my vehicle fluids. So we already talked about air pressure, we already talked about gas, but make sure that you have enough antifreeze, make sure you have enough power steering fluid, brake fluid, just everything you might need in your vehicle is a good thing to have. And in that same vein, number 25, we're gonna talk about changing your oil. Just change the oil in your vehicles if you can. Make sure that you have a fresh slate. This is what this is all about. 24 hours to get a fresh slate so you can start as tip-top as possible for SHTF, right? So oil changes, good to have. That way you don't have to worry about them for what? 3, 6, 12,000 miles, depending on what kind of oil you use. That's just up to you. All right, number 26, I'm gonna get a workout in. Now this sounds counterintuitive, like why would you wanna burn energy and hurt yourself before getting ready for SHTF? Look, workouts help clear my mind, they give me a lot of energy, and they make me feel strong and get ready for that next mission of whatever it's going to be. And honestly, you don't know when that next workout's coming, and being sedentary in SHTF is definitely a possibility. You might not have power to be running things like a treadmill or something like that, which is important if you live where I do, where right now it's negative 20 degrees outside. So that being said, I'm gonna get that last workout in and feel really good about it, and then hopefully that will help push me just a little bit closer to being as fit as I possibly can be for this SHTF event that's about to occur. Moving on from there, number 27, I'm gonna have a feast with my family. Look, we're gonna eat some food, we're gonna have a nice dinner, we still got power, we still have the ability to cook however we'd like, we can make all the food we want. We're gonna have a feast, we're gonna start with full bellies and feel good about it. So, because another feast might not be coming for a very long time, this is something you might wanna do. Number 28, I'm gonna take all the trash out of my house, I'm gonna do a dump run, and I'm gonna dump everything that's trash out, because during SHTF, you're gonna have a lot of trash built up in your entire house or on your property or whatever it is. It could be a dead giveaway for your location. There's a lot of other reasons why you wanna get rid of as much trash as humanly possible before that happens, and that last dump run could be the difference. So just make sure you get rid of all the trash you can. And number 29 is that I'm gonna contact my local police just to make sure that everything's good to go. Now, why would you do this? Well, the idea here is that I'm gonna talk to my local police, kind of let them know that something's going on, and that if they need me during an emergency or anything like that, here's my contact, here's where I'm located, all those things. Maybe give yourself some priority when it comes to a response. It just depends on your situation. If I lived in Los Angeles, probably not gonna do this. But where I live, when you have the phone number of the police chief, you might just give them a call and just say, hey, here's what's up, and it might help you down the road when things get even dicier. Just throwing it out there, okay? And then number 30, the final thing on this list, take a picture of me and my family, all of us together. I'm gonna print it out. I'm gonna have proof that my family is my actual family, because it's up to date as far as humanly possible, in the sense of it's the day before SHTF, and now I have proof that everyone I say is related to me and part of my family unit actually is, and that could actually matter during these situations. Try proving that your child is your child without any pictures of you and your child together. I mean, it's going to be difficult, right? And with people being very on edge and skeptical of strangers and everything else going on during an SHTF scenario, the last thing anybody wants to deal with is kidnappers or people who are malicious against children. So you might not want to be thrown into that category because you don't have a way of showing that this child is actually related to you. So that's something I'm going to do. It's the last thing I'm going to do because it's important and it's something you should definitely have. Look, this is 30 things that I'm just gonna bust out within a 24-hour period if I know this is happening the next day. Hopefully this list gives you some things to think about as well. Please add the things you're going to do in the comments below. I wanna know as well, and I think that sharing these ideas can give everybody other things to think about. I know I missed some things, I'm sure I did, but hopefully some of the things I put on the list are things you didn't think of either. And by talking about it in the comments, we can all be better prepared by having more ideas about what we should probably do if we have that 24-hour advance notice. Hopefully you found this helpful. Thank you so much for all the support that this channel gets. You guys are amazing, and that is going to be it for Magic Prepping.